Okay, everybody, here we are, man, back again. This is Deep Purple Stormbringer album. This is going to be side 2 and then the review attached to the back end of it. Side 1 was very good, man. A slight change from their, I guess, kind of more hard rocking, closer to metalish sound, with a little bit more of a milder and slightly funkier tone. All the same, it's still good. It's still got the essence of Deep Purple and what makes them great. The great musicianship, the instrumental breaks in the middle of the song, stretching it out, and great vocals by David Coverdale and Glenn Hughes. And they haven't missed a beat. It's a slight change in style, but all the same, their signature sound of quality and delivery is still there, man. So I'm enjoying it. It's different, but I still like it. So let's check out side 2 here, man. Stormbringer side 2. Let's get it. Infamous Devil Woman. Yes. First came on my radar with his collaboration with Ronnie James Dio. Had a message with the woman, but he's not leaving. stroke with women here. First Lady Debbie Dealer. Now you can't even get some from his home. Good tune. Again, it's got a little undercurrent of a funky groove, funky jam. Almost about to say that in this album I'm kind of missing the solos of the organ. Usually it's organ then guitar. That song is great because of the organ solo. The gypsy to grant him immortality or extend it. That was an interesting story. The extended instrumentals and the outro at the end had me thinking of all kinds of crazy shit. Good tune.
I have often told you stories about the way I lived a life of a drifter, waiting for the day when I take your hand and sing you songs, and maybe you would say, come lay with me and love me, and I would surely stay. But I feel I'm growing older, and the songs that I have sung echo in the distance like like the sound of a wheel going round. Guess I'll always be a soldier of fortune.
Seeking love and running out of time.
Many times I've been a traveler, I look for something new. In days of old, the nights were cold, I wandered without you. Those days I thought my eyes had seen you standing near. Though blindness is confusing, it shows that you're not here. Now I feel I'm growing older, and the songs that I have sung echo in the distance like the sound of a windmill going round. Guess I'll always be a soldier of fortune. I couldn't hear the sound of a windmill going round. Guess I'll always be a soldier of fortune. Guess I'll always be a soldier of fortune.
The thing I like the most about this guy, Coverdale, is that he can sing anything. He can cover any manner of music, it seems. It's good range. had an entire album of awesome rock instrumentals like this. Excellent jam. That was a sweet, sweet jam. Excellent, excellent. I can see that, visualize that being applied in so many different places, you know? Background noise at a party, get things moving, get things going. Excellent. Rock instrumentals, man. You know, of course the vocals, the presence of the vocals puts it over the top, and you know, it's more relatable to everybody and everyone embraces it more. But the rock instrumental jams, man, definitely have a place. And it's too bad that there's not a lot more of it out there, especially from the really big groups like this. You know, I'm going through this phase right now where I'm discovering Led Zeppelin had a couple of well, I won't call them lost tracks, it's just unknown to me, I would say. But I'm uncovering a lot of Led Zeppelin tracks that might have been unfinished, unpolished, and a lot of them are either missing the vocals completely or the vocals are completely alternate. I did a quad reaction a couple of days ago, or more over a week ago, where When the Levee Breaks literally had almost completely a different set of lyrics. That was a really cool experience. So going back to the rock instrumental album idea, yeah, I think that would have been a really, really cool thing. And but there's no band, it seems, that existed in history where they had the great instrumentation together without the vocals. You know, and someone said, hey, you know, we don't have a singer, we can't sing ourselves, let's just make a whole bunch of really great rock instrumental grooves. I guess nobody thought of that, but maybe I'm short-sighted and it probably would not have fared, or maybe they thought it might not have been worth their while. But my point is this: I would enjoy the hell out of something like that, you know. But that's just me. Maybe I'm alone in that sentiment. But just going from this last track, I enjoyed the hell out of that shit, man. And like I said again, I would put that on after I come home after a long day of working. If friends come over or whatever, put that on, you know. So it's definitely got its place, even without the vocals. But anyway, overall, I like this album. I notice a change in, of course, you know, there's a lineup change, but I notice a change in the sound. With there's a little bit more of it's a little milder than their harder rocking driving force of albums before, especially with the previous lineups. I believe this is the Mark III lineup. So with the previous lineups, it was a little bit more harder driving. And this time it's milder and it's got a little bit more of a funky groove going on. And with the switching up of the singers, it adds to that. So, I mean, it's great that they have range. They're not going to get bored with their style or anything like that. But I wonder, you know, in the lineup of things, there's always someone who might not like the change of the sound, or maybe they're all collectively in agreement. But where musicians are concerned, I believe that musicians, especially really good ones, tend to be temperamental, and they tend to probably want to kind of stick to a certain regiment and structure for a period of time, bleed it out, and then maybe move on to something different. I'm thinking of Eric Clapton when Eric Clapton left the Yardbirds because they were moving away from the blues platform. I'm thinking of the clashes that the Beatles had. I'm thinking of, well, that's all I'm thinking of now, but I'm sure that there's hundreds and hundreds of examples out there. And I'm just wondering, you know, what this would be like among all the members. if you were to interview them, would all of them say, yeah, we collectively said that we wanted to move in this direction? I don't know. I see that it's a very rare thing. There's always grounds for contention on that subject, and I can see that with bands that it's probably one of their biggest areas of contention. I'm just shooting off the top of my head here, just wondering. Anyway, man. Overall, if I was to give it a rating out of 5, I would give it about a 3.5 out of 5. When you've got their previous works to compare it to, it's almost unfair to do so. But yeah, I've got their previous albums to go by, and it's still a damn fine album, still a great listen. I would listen to it again. But yeah, man, it is certainly not as great as their previous works. You know what I'm saying? And not taking anything away from it. I like it very much, but they've done better works in the past. That's all I'm saying. But in saying that, let's take a look at Stormbringer, man. Get an idea for how it came about and how the creators feel about it and all of that. Certainly going to come across how critics feel. But before we get to that part, let's start from the top. Stormbringer. Stormbringer is the 9th studio album by English hard rock band Deep Purple, released November of '74, and the 2nd studio album to feature the Mark III lineup, including vocalist David Coverdale and bassist vocalist Glenn Hughes. Album cover and title. The cover image of Stormbringer is based on a photo. On the 8th of July 1927, a tornado near the town of Jasper, Minnesota was photographed by Lucille Handberg. Her photograph has become a classic image and was used and edited for the album's cover. The same photograph was used for Miles Davis's album Bitches Brew in 1970 and Susie and the Banshees' album Tinderbox in 1986. Yeah, wow, it's a very famous photo then. Stormbringer is the name of the second Elric Melniboné novel by Michael Moorcock. It's the name of a magical sword described in many novels and comics by Moorcock and others, which enjoyed enormous success in the 60s and 70s. David Coverdale has denied knowledge of this until shortly after recording the album. In an interview with Charles Shaar Murray in the New Musical Express, he claimed that the name was from mythology. A few years later, Moorcock collaborated with Blue Oyster Cult to write Black Blade, a song that actually was written about the sword Stormbringer. According to Glenn Hughes, the slurred gibberish that is spoken by Coverdale at the beginning of the title track, just prior to the first verse, is the same backwards dialogue that Linda Blair's character utters in the film The Exorcist when she is questioned by the priest. Oh man. I watched that shit, man. I can't remember how. I think I might have been 10 or some shit like that. And oh my god, did my mom ever kill me when she discovered that I was watching that. Wow. Release and reception. Alex Henderson of AllMusic writes that Stormbringer falls short of the excellence of Machine Head and Who Do We Think We Are, but nonetheless boasts some definite classics, including the fiery Lady Double Dealer, the ominous title song, a goth metal treasure, the sweaty highball shooter, and the melancholy ballad Soldier of Fortune. Guitarist Ritchie Blackmore left Deep Purple following Stormbringer in its subsequent tour, publicly citing his dislike for the funky direction the band was taking. Yeah, you see? Yeah, it's no surprise, man. Glenn Hughes, nevertheless, praises the album and Blackmore's contributions. Quote, "People who listen to Stormbringer, please listen. Ritchie Blackmore is damn funky, whether he likes it or not. He played wonderfully on the album." Unquote. That's cool. Well, he's a professional, man. You know, he's got to complete his project, whether he's excited about it or whether he's not excited. It shows that he can go there. He might not want to, but at least it shows that he can, which is good in itself there. 35th Anniversary Edition. On the 23rd of February 2009, the The 35th anniversary edition of Stormbringer was released for the European international market only. The release was expanded into a limited edition 2-disc set. The first disc contained the full remastered album along with the new remixes, and the second disc was a DVD containing quadraphonic mix in 5.1 audio as originally released in the US on quad reel back in 1974. After a limited run of the CD-DVD edition, the album became available in a single CD edition. A limited double gatefold vinyl edition was also released. Okay, and so yeah, let's skip all of the production notes and references and stuff like that, man. Yeah, so that is Wikipedia Song Fact Info on Stormbringer, Deep Purple's 9th studio album under the helm of the Mark III lineup, that being David Coverdale and bassist Glenn Hughes. Yeah, you know, I was thinking along the way, my first impression from side one, after I went to work and I was thinking about it, I was thinking, yeah, I wonder how, you know, they decided to change up their sound, or did it happen naturally? Of course it didn't happen naturally, they had to kind of probably conceive it. But maybe that funky tone of it, maybe that was just a side benefit, you know, or a side curse, I don't know what you would call it, but in the eyes of Ritchie Blackmore, I can see him being a little bit more wanting to embrace the ways of old, the hard rocking style. Totally understand that. And you know, I guess it's a point break for a lot of artists after a period of time. Do we continue with what we've been doing, or do we change things up? Are things going to change naturally because we've got a lineup change? Times are changing, the sound around us is changing. What are we going to do? How are we going to navigate? You know, it seems like very, very simple little things to figure out, but I imagine that for certain bands, and you know, they've got a big burden of being successful consistently for themselves, for their bandmates, for, you know, their labels, and also the fan base. That's a lot of pressure. That becomes very, very heavy and burdensome. And I imagine that it would probably force a lot of them to implode, to drink, to go off, to, you know, it would probably break up a lot of bands. So yeah, you know, with Ritchie leaving, I can understand that he probably left because maybe he still had more to do with the platform of the heavy sound that he still had in his mind. And he probably went out to seek people who would help him to accommodate that sound in his mind. Well, I mentioned he collaborated with Ronnie James Dio, and that was masterful, man, you know. So yeah, with Deep Purple, going forward, checking out their following albums after this, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how their sound either stays or how it shifts around, moves around. I know that they have another lineup change coming. I know Tommy Bolin is, I believe he's coming in right after Ritchie here. So their sound is going to change up. So it's going to be quite interesting to hear it. So let me hear from you. If you are a Deep Purple fan and you've been following their progression, their chronology, what do you think of the change in the sound? How do you feel about it? Give me your take, because I'm not really seeing anything like that really in even in the reception. I know that the All Music guy said that, you know, it falls short compared to, but it still has some classics or whatnot. But that's just one opinion, and I didn't see any other opinions here. So let me know what your opinion is, and I'll be very, very interested. Were you a little disappointed? Were you, yeah, man, it's cool, they've got a different sound, they've got more funky, and they're going in a different direction? Let me know about that. That would be quite interesting. Just kind of following along, keeping my finger on the pulse of the Deep Purple sound and what they're doing and how they're feeling. Yeah, and if you know how the other members of Deep Purple were feeling about this particular project, aside from Glenn Hughes, it's obvious how he felt about it, but the other players in the band, let me know about that. If you know your history really well, it'll be quite interesting. All right, man. So that concludes my look at Stormbringer. I liked it very much, man, overall. Really good album. Loved that instrumental in the end. And I would definitely check out this album again. Put it on, just go about my thing in the house or in the backyard or just chill, you know, nice Sunday, sunny afternoon on the porch, beer in hand, all of that sort of thing, you know, or barbecue, whatever the case may be. I like the album. So I'm looking forward to checking out their sound as it progresses with the next couple of albums following. So I'll definitely try and stay on top of that a little bit more consistently. So what else was I going to say? Okay, yeah, just going forward, yeah, man, I'm just going to try and hit up Black Sabbath before the weekend and go from there. I got Zeppelin coming up this weekend as well. And I missed my mark on trying to get in a reaction for Pink Floyd. It was Canada Day on the 1st, so I wanted to take that time to do a Canada Day reaction tribute. So I'll hit up Pink Floyd. I still got to finish the Pompeii, the 72 Pompeii. So that's what's going to be my focus going forward for the next little while, going into summer, man. Anyways, you guys have a good one. Take care. Hope you like this reaction, and I'll catch you in another reaction. Peace.